Emma Chamberlain woke up with that strange heaviness she couldn't quite name. It wasn't sadness exactly, more like a dull, lingering ache under her ribs. The kind that shows up when you dream of someone you haven't thought about in years, and you wake up wondering why your heart remembered something your mind tried to forget. She rolled out of bed, brewed her matcha like always, sat on her tan leather chair, pulled the big headphones over her ears and positioned the microphone. The familiar ritual steadied her a bit. She exhaled, tried to shake off the weight on her chest, and opened her laptop to start recording a new episode. "Hi guys," she said softly. "Welcome back to Anything Goes. I don't know what's going on with me today. I feel weirdly emotional, but maybe that's a sign I should talk to you instead of avoiding things." She knew exactly what she was avoiding, but naming it out loud felt too raw. "Anyway," she continued, "it's listener message day. You guys sent more than I expected, so let's just get into it." She played the first message. Someone asked about cozy fall outfits. Easy. Next, a question about routines. Also easy. Then one about moving to New York. She answered casually, comfortably, slipping into her usual tone. But then she clicked the message that would change the entire mood of the episode. It was titled, "Please Don't Say My Name." Emma pressed play. There was a pause, then a shaky inhale, the kind that already told Emma the message was going to be emotional. She leaned forward slightly without realizing it. "Hi, Emma," the girl said, her voice soft and trembling. I hope you actually hear this, and I hope I don't sound pathetic. I've never told anyone this, not even my friends." Emma's fingers curled slightly around the mic. "I've been waiting for a guy for 2 years, the girl continued. 2 whole years. And I know how stupid that sounds. I know everyone would tell me to move on, but I can't, or I don't know how." Emma blinked, her stomach tightening. The girl kept going, voice cracking more with each word. "We met in college. We connected instantly, like one of those moments where you just know. And he told me he felt something too, but then he said he wasn't ready for a relationship. He needed time. He needed to work on himself. He said he didn't want to hurt me." Emma froze. The girl took a breath that sounded like she was trying not to cry. "So I waited, because I believed him. Because I thought maybe I was worth the wait. And whenever I tried to move on, he'd find a way to come back. With a late night message, with a thinking about you, with a hug that lasted too long. He made me feel like he was almost choosing me. Almost." Emma swallowed hard. "But he never actually did," the girl whispered. "He never chose me." Emma felt something sharp inside her chest, a memory stirring. "And now," the girl continued, voice breaking, "he's dating someone else there, a girl he met only a few months ago. And he actually chose her. He committed to her. He posted about her. He never posted me." Emma's breath hitched. She stared at the wall, eyes stinging. "I feel like I wasted 2 years of my life," the girl whispered. "Waiting for someone who used me as a maybe. I feel broken, Emma, like I was never enough to be the one. And now I don't even know who I am without waiting for him." The message ended abruptly, as if the girl couldn't keep speaking. Emma didn't move. The silence in her apartment felt like a weight crushing her lungs. She reached for her matcha with a trembling hand, but didn't drink it. Instead, she set it back down, her breath shallow. "Okay," she whispered into the mic, her voice already cracking. She cleared her throat, but it didn't help. "Wow." She paused, letting the emotions gather on her face. She lifted her hand and pressed her thumb to the corner of her eye. "That one, yeah. That one hit me." She let out a small, humorless laugh, the kind that hid more pain than amusement. "I wasn't expecting that," she said quietly. She pulled one headphone off her ear, feeling her heartbeat pounding too loud. She inhaled, exhaled, then spoke again, the microphone catching her trembling voice. "I need to be really honest right now," she said, "because what she described, I've lived that, like, almost exactly." She leaned forward, resting her elbows on her knees, voice dropping. "There was a guy, and I waited for him for longer than I want to admit. I waited because he made me feel special in this very delicate way. Like I was almost his person, like I was almost chosen, almost loved, almost enough." Her breath shook. "But he always had a reason. I need time. I'm not ready. Don't want to hurt you." All the classic lines, right? And I believed them, every single time. One tear fell. She wiped it quickly, but more welled. And whenever I tried to move on, he would show up again with a text at 1 a.m. with a "hey, I miss you," with a smile that made my heart stop. He knew exactly what to say to make me wait longer. She covered her mouth with her hand for a moment, steadying herself. "I thought if I was patient enough," she whispered, "he'd finally choose me." A long silence. But he never did. Her voice cracked so sharply she had to pause. He chose someone else. Someone new. Someone who didn't know the version I've held onto for so long. And I remember thinking, how could he be ready for her when he wasn't ready for me? She shook her head slowly. "That messes you up," she said. "It destroys something inside you. It makes you feel like you were the warm-up for someone else's relationship." She looked down at her lap, shoulders trembling. I remember checking his Instagram one morning and seeing her, his new girlfriend. And he looked happy. And her voice broke fully now. I fell apart. Tears streamed down her cheeks. She didn't hide them. I felt stupid, worthless. Like I'd spent so long waiting for someone who never even considered choosing me. She wiped her face with her sleeve. "So, to the girl who sent that message," Emma said, breathing unevenly, "I want you to know something no one told me back then." She lifted her eyes to the microphone. "You weren't waiting for him. You were waiting for the version of him that existed in your imagination. The version who would someday be ready. Someday choose you. Someday see your value," she swallowed. That version of him was never real. A tear hung on her lashes before falling. "And the version of you that kept waiting, that version deserves compassion, not shame. You loved deeply. You believed in someone. That isn't weakness. That's your heart doing its best." She took a shaky breath. "But you cannot wait for someone who doesn't want to arrive. You can't love someone into choosing you." Her voice softened into something tender and wounded. "You didn't waste 2 years. You experienced something painful that taught you what to never accept again. You learned what your heart needs and what it can't survive." She paused, brushing away new tears. "The girl he chose instead of you? She's not better. She's just convenient. She arrived at a time when he was finally willing to be the person you waited for. That's not love. That's timing." Emma's voice steadied, but her eyes remained red. "And you," she whispered, "you're more than bad timing." She leaned back, closing her eyes for a moment. "One day, someone is going to choose you on purpose. Not almost. Not someday. Not when I'm ready." Her voice gained a quiet strength, "but every single day, from the moment they meet you." Another breath. "You deserve that, and you'll find it, but he was never going to give it to you." She wiped her cheeks for what felt like the 10th time and let out a soft, shaky laugh. "I did not expect to cry this much today," she said, but she didn't apologize. "I'm glad she sent that message," Emma said, voice calmer now. "I'm glad she trusted me with something so painfully honest, because it reminded me of a version of myself I've tried so hard to forgive." She lifted her chin slightly. "And I hope she knows she's not alone. I hope anyone listening who's been stuck in an almost relationship knows they aren't alone." She exhaled slowly. "I think that's enough for today." She reached to stop the recording, but paused. Before clicking the button, she whispered, "He never chose you, but that doesn't mean you're not worth choosing." Click. Recording ended, but Emma stayed where she was, staring at the microphone, her face blotchy and her eyelashes still wet. Only after a long minute did she reach for her matcha, finally taking a sip. The heaviness in her chest felt different now, not gone, but understood. A wound acknowledged instead of ignored. And that was the beginning of healing.